guys, welcome back. Today, I thought I would give you guys my thoughts on The Outer Worlds. I just finished it a couple days ago. It's not a super long game, and I will try to keep this as spoiler-free as I can, so I'll sort of talk in generalities and vague terms. Start off by saying I really liked the game. Justifiably, it gets compared to Fallout a lot. And since it's Obsidian that developed it, naturally it gets compared specifically to Fallout New Vegas. And I would say they're not on the same level. Disappointingly, The Outer Worlds gunplay feels just about the same as New Vegas, maybe even a little less satisfying, because this is just a personal issue that I have with certain games. I don't like when numbers pop out of things when I shoot them or when I hit them. I either want a health bar or nothing at all. I don't like the visual clutter that comes from all these bright colors appearing on screen. I'm sure it's a dopamine thing. You know, you see these bright colors and that makes you feel better, and it can kind of cover up the fact that the gunplay is not very interesting. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I think it's pretty easy to get over. As far as the story goes, it's good. I'm not sure if it's as good as the setup. I don't think is quite as solid as Fallout. Of course, Fallout has had a lot more time to get set up, so given that this is one game, I think they did a really good job. And honestly, I don't know whether this is a good or bad thing, but I think Outer Worlds had a lot more, it had a lot more directly to say, I think, than Fallout New Vegas or 3. Definitely more than 3. New Vegas had to say. Granted, if you compare it to Fallout 1 or 2, that's a completely different story. But Outer Worlds has this really great message, or not message, but it's a conversation basically about individuality and safety and what people are willing to give up in the name of security, which I felt was really compelling. And it's not just in the world; it's observable in the characters that you meet. One of your companions, their companion quest is based entirely around that question of purpose and the self, which I thought was really cool. The environments, you know, the cities and the surrounds were kind of lackluster. I mean, they're pretty, of course. It's a good-looking game. The facial animation maybe leaves something to be desired. But they're really empty. There's a part in the game where you go to what's supposed to be a huge city, you know. And there's like 40 NPCs. I mean, I didn't count, but the city just feels really empty. I think that combined with the sort of post Art Deco style makes a lot of the game feel kind of BioShocky. Nothing in the gameplay or the plot really did that for me. But definitely aesthetically and the sort of emptiness of the world made it feel like that. The characters in general are fairly well fleshed out. 4 out of the 6 companions, at least in my opinion, were kind of lame. 2 of them were excellent, though. I really liked 2 of the companions. I thought that their storylines were interesting, and I actually had a vested interest in seeing them to their conclusion, more than just, oh, I need the XP and I don't want to just leave quests hanging. But the NPCs you run into in the world generally are realistic within the world. I mean, the whole world is sort of a caricature of it's capitalism gone mad. It's basically an indictment of libertarianism. Or anarcho-capitalism or whatever. Because they established really early on that there's just no controls on the corporations, and so they can do whatever they want. So the characters within that world have to play into that caricature, but at the same time, they're generally, I actually really can't think of any exceptions to this. They're pretty grounded. They feel like the kind of people you would actually meet in the world. I was never feeling pulled out of the experience by any interaction I had by a character. It's a quite immersive game, although the only thing I would say is seriously immersion breaking is the fact that the game takes place over several planets. And so a lot of times for a quest, you'll go to a planet, do a thing, have to get back on your ship, fly to a new planet, go to that planet, do a thing, get back on your ship, fly back to that first planet. Which I get why they did it. They wanted to, it's a solar system. They wanted you to be traveling from place to place, and they wanted different environments and different NPCs and different enemies and stuff like that. I just wish that they would have found a more streamlined way to do that. I don't know why that bugged me so much. I can't really tell you. There's plenty of fast travel, within the maps, but none of them are very big. In New Vegas, walking from one end of the map to the other would take you, however long. The biggest map in Outer Worlds is basically like from Novak to Good Springs. I mean, they're not big, and the smallest one is like the size of the ghetto outside New Vegas, maybe smaller. I mean, there are some really tiny parts of this map, or parts of this game, and I'm probably exaggerating, but as far as their true size goes, but they feel small. And most planets have several different places you can go to on the planet that are discrete maps. And that seems seems like that would have been an opportunity to just make one map. Even if you have to, just fill it with crap, just like the regular wilderness is. You fill it with generic enemies and roadblocks and, buildings here and there with some neat log entries and whatever. I would have much preferred that. The big city you go to at one point is one of several maps on one planet, and it would have been so cool to have been able to walk past the walls early in the game and not know what it was, not know, if I could get in or whatever. I think this game definitely, Obsidian still got it. I'm not sure there was any question of that, but this game is, you take this and you compare it to Fallout 4, and it's the polar opposite. Fallout 4 has one really large map. This has a bunch of really small maps. Fallout 4 gives you almost zero choice in your actual role-playing experience. This gives you quite a bit of choice. The gunplay is comparable. Fallout 4 takes the quirky 1950s aesthetic a little too far. This is pretty subdued. Not in your face. It's obvious. It's obvious that they're taking cues from like 1910s, 1920s Art Deco kind of stuff. But the little Fallout guy doesn't pop out every time you do something and make that little squeaky noise. Both games are gorgeous, but I think this game is just another nail in Bethesda's coffin. It's showing that other people can make Bethesda RPGs and make them way better. Still, we don't have to have I don't know if you can hear that rolling past. Other companies don't need licenses from Bethesda to make their game but better. That's what New Vegas was. It was Obsidian getting the Fallout license back from, when they were Black Isle. Getting it back and making Bethesda's game but better. So I hope that there's going to be more games like this, even if they're, on the same level of quality, which I think most people would call me generous, but I would call this game an 8 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed this game. It's by no means perfect, but I really, really enjoyed it. Even if there are games that are on par with this, I hope that will push Bethesda to do better with the Fallout license. Because I love Fallout. It's one of my favorite series. By the way, Outer Worlds has amazing humor. The humor of Fallout, the world setup, the core role-playing elements, the characters, they're great. That world is so fun to be in. I don't like being railroaded, though, which is what Bethesda did with 3, and basically what they did with 4. I don't know how you guys felt about it if you played Fallout 4, but I didn't realize I was in the game end conversation in Fallout 4 until I was almost done with it. I hadn't realized the game was over. Which I don't think should be the case. There was a little bit of that in Outer Worlds, although the game does say, like, your ship AI tells you, you know, if you have anything else to deal with, you should do it before we go on this mission, because you might not be coming back. You know, saying the game's over once you start this mission. The final mission was a little but it was followed by a really solid cinematic that, I guess not cinematic, sort of a rundown of your influence on the world, which I thought was really cool. It was kind of like the what do you call it? Extended ending for Mass Effect 3. How, you know, it tells you how your different quote-unquote decisions, in the case of Fallout or Mass Effect 3, affected the world around you, which I thought was cool. I know this is definitely a rambling video, but I think I will bring it to a close here. I would recommend this game to anyone who enjoys role-playing games. If you're looking to just like shoot stuff, I might pass. But if you actually enjoy characters and conversations and learning the world and existing in it, I would recommend this game. If you don't know, you can sign up for Xbox Game Pass, and it's literally just $1 for your first month. That's what I did. That's how I played the game. It's like $5 after your first month. I think they call it an introductory price, that $5 a month thing, but they don't tell you how long that lasts. So I don't know how long I'm gonna keep mine. Probably just cancel it. But if you're one of those people who wants to get as much value for their money out of a game as they can, I don't think you can get any more value than a really, really enjoyable 20 hours for $1. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you didn't, I hope maybe you at least got some information about the game out of it, and if you didn't, then I'm sorry you've made it this far, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.